Hey, how's it going?
Oh, yeah, no.
OB Group 1. The good things about the pitch was that it was well planned, well thought throughout. Really liked the locations and the settings. There was enough detail, but it was short and straight to the point. That's what we liked as well. It was well organised, enjoyable.
Thanks.
Yeah. What would be better? What would have made this? So the second point, yeah. So for the representation, I would use more pictures, so it helps us to imagine what you really plan to do. I mean, after you show the picture of the dresses and the locations, so then it made sense. Audience detail, I would give more reason why you choose that particular age, the names or the location. And questions, is the scientist the same person as the person in the classroom, or it's not the same person?
Same person, isn't it?
What?
Like when they're in a science lab,
What do you mean?
it's the same dude that's going to be like cutting up people.
Oh
Yeah.
Yes, and how about the cast? Who's going to be who? So the girl or the scientist. So
What do you mean?
Who are the actors?
Oh,
yeah,
Some
sorry.
of us are acting, we have actors.
yeah, we have people.
They want to do it and they're willing to do it, so he answers.
Great. All right, that's it.
Sweet.
Who's
Who's next?
Sophie?
Oh, such a hipster thing. What's up, dude?
Hi guys. I think like you had what was good about your pitch. You had a very nice idea, and it seems very well organized. Like you could really tell how much work you guys put into it. I also like the font. The font is nice, and the color doesn't hurt my eyes, so that's good. Don't have anything to improve it really, but one question: due to like following the conventions of horror, is the story going to be predictable?
We're going to try and make it as not as predictable as possible. I don't like predictable films, and so I think with horror we try and make it as unpredictable as possible to try and make things sort of jump out and like be as unpredictable as possible. So I think we'll try and do that.
That's it.
That's it?
Should we go to this group? We thought that your presentation was really good. We thought it was very detailed and very organised, and we really liked your film idea. And we thought what could have been better off, there was more photos and videos. And our question was who was acting to.
That's been answered.
Yeah.
Right?
Is that it?
Yeah.
And then
Well, they just... Oh, yeah.
It has a clear plot, and you stated influences, which was really good, and shows good planning. I don't think you can make the pitch better.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, that's good.
Questions?
No.
Sweet.
Okay. So, Mike, finally. That's really slow. Right, what was I going to talk about? Right, first thing, representation. It needs a bit more detail about how the characters are going to be presented, or how they're going to be portrayed in terms of the costume and stuff. We didn't see enough about exactly how they're going to look, especially thinking about the news reporter who says working class, which is more likely to be a bit middle class more than working class. But think about how you're going to portray that through the accent as well. Think about sound. You can't have a news reporter who's going to go and speak with a, not news reporter-like accent. Say that. The scientists are going to be professionals. How are you going to make sure that your audience understand who these people are? That these are the professionals. How are you going to portray them to be professional? How are you going to portray the news reporter? The work of a teenage girl is quite simple, and it's easy to say, oh, she'll just be dressed normally. But what's normal? What is that going to be? What is normal for a teenage girl? I know that you know that, and I know that we know that, but you have to show that you understand how you're going to portray that girl. Good on institutional detail. That was really really good, well detailed. Mise en scène, props and costume, pictures, and I think a couple of people have said that, pictures and video. Instead of describing to us what it's going to be, just show us with some images. But great ideas. I got what you were saying, but I would have liked to have seen some images. The green screen for the news report, what's going to be behind? So when you remove the green, what's going to be behind your news reporter? What are we going to see?
We're going to have like a studio sort of, so for example, you know, in ITV News or BBC News, they just have like a sort of whitish, there's not much going on in the background, but it's going to be a big broad space that looks like a studio. So we kind of want like a studio sort of looking area.
Yeah. It's not blank. It's not a space.
No.
If you Google it, can you just Google just BBC News or ITV News, and let's just have a look at what's behind. Google Images, and then let's have a look at what's behind. So if you look there, there's quite a lot actually going on behind them, isn't there?
Yeah. Give it a minute.
It's all right. So you're going to need to think about what you're going to put behind. Have a look at some images and have a look at the news and see what you could put behind the news reporter, because that will need planning out. Right. You've got a final storyboard, which is great. It looks really good. So I like the storyboard that you've used. Have you got other drafting? So shot list, draft storyboard, that sort of thing. Have you got all that on the blog? Great. The titles. In the description of your type of title sequence, you said that it's going to be titles over moving image. But then when you went on further to talk about titles, you said they're going to be on a dark background.
As in, so when she's running, if there's like a little bit of a corner
That's dark. Yes.
Put it over that.
Great. Okay, fully understand that. That's great. Is your time-toast timeline for the production schedule, is that on the blog already? Yeah. And I think from what you're describing, you're going to be showing us lots of elements of the narrative, although it is a discrete sequence, so don't forget to talk about the fact that it is kind of a combination of a discrete, but with elements of the narrative within it. So acknowledge that you're showing bits of narrative in it. It's not purely discrete like Seven, where it's got imagery from the film, but they're not giving you clues as to what's going to happen in the plot, whereas you're giving away like hints of the plot. So talk about that, that's fine. But excellent pitch. Completely understand the idea, completely convinced by it. It's going to be a great film. It's going to be all in the shooting and how you shoot it and how interesting and creative you can be like that. So I think Safi's question was a good one. Are you just going to give people what they expect, or are you going to surprise people? And I think you should go for the surprise element. It's just going to take some work as to thinking about how to do that really, really well. But well done, very good. Okay.